First of all, welcome to Peña Station Next and our Panasonic City Now headquarters. Happy to host this amazing event. It's a long time in the waiting. I think those of us who have been on the inside of mapping this out realize how many moments there were to come to today. I think it was a year ago in December that we had Governor Hickenlooper out here to proclaim Connected and Autonomous Vehicle Day, and we, with our group of stakeholders, which I'll get to in a minute, really leaned forward with an intentional deployment of a autonomous shuttle on a city street connecting a bus stop to a train stop, which, by the way, the bus stop didn't exist until RTD leaned forward and put a bus stop there. So a couple just logistical things. Since we do have a large crowd, I would be remiss if I didn't say that the exit, in case of emergency, is exactly where you came in. So if you can remember that, just turn and walk out that door if there is something that goes down. So that's first. Second, restrooms are just out to the left, my left, your right, behind you. So Cassie in the back can direct you if you guys need to use the restroom. So those are the logistics. But really, to go back to the intention of what we've done as a group is really start to address this first last mile pain point. And there's two things that I have resonate for all of us in the room as stakeholders and a bunch of friendly faces that allowed this to happen. Is number one, really that first last mile pain point is an equity play. It's a value proposition for folks that can't get to that mass transit in inclement weather. For other reasons that there's many that first last mile pain point has been real. So first, to address that in a way that is in a safer environment that doesn't have a disproportionate amount of traffic and people. I know that we're the only business out here as of today. That's changing, and Cal will get into that in a minute. But this is a kind of safe environment to test this type of solution, and again, connecting it to a bus stop and a train stop to start proving out some of these first last mile pain points. The second is that I would really just like to pay attention for all of us on the amount of real job creation and thought creation that allows these type of things to come to fruition. So what I mean by that is that you've got two headquarters right here, Panasonic City Now, and you've got EasyMile, their North American headquarters, and we're heavily involved in mobility, including connected vehicle mobility, and EasyMile is obviously on the forefront of autonomous technology. And there's an awful lot of jobs that are going to need to be created to make these first last mile pain points a realization through autonomy. And I think that's one of the important takeaways is that we're super excited to be investing in something that's going to be creating jobs in this region for many years to come. The last point I'd like to make is that this takes a huge and heavy lift from legislation. And last year I mentioned December 4th, Hickenlooper was out here declaring an autonomous and connected vehicle day, and that was on the backdrop of really AV legislation that passed. And I'd like to have a couple of shout outs to Senator Owen Hill, Senator Jeff Bridges, and Senator Faith Winter. Please, honestly, these things aren't easy, and that legislation was amongst the leaders in the nation of its kind, and really allowed the group of stakeholders, which I mentioned, to come together and have a roadmap on how we can institute this type of technology. So a special shout out to them. I'd also like to have a special shout out to the AV Task Force, please. CDOT, CSP, the DOR, and of course the City and County of Denver, RTD, Fullenwider Group, and TransDev. This group of stakeholders to come together and all know their roles and responsibilities and not get in the way of some potential progress that can solve and alleviate some pain points we have as a city is truly amazing. So run of the show real quickly before we get off to the speakers is that you'll hear from each and every one of the stakeholder leadership. And we'd like to, at least at the end of the day, have you realize that this is something that we've all invested in from the community perspective, from a regional perspective, and we're attacking real pain points. So with that in mind, I'd like to introduce Mr. Mayor Hancock up to the stage and give his perspective on where we're heading. Mayor?
Not only is he tall, he's the best dressed corporate executive in Colorado. Listen, thank you all for being here. Let me do a couple shout outs as we get started. I want to acknowledge the presence of a couple of key folks a part of this effort, and they themselves represent a bigger body of individuals who've been working tirelessly on this moment that we are enjoying today. I want to acknowledge the city councilman, Chris Herndon, is here. Councilman Herndon, thank you for being here. Jerry Tiano, our Chief Sustainability Officer for the City of Denver, is here, as well as Euless Cleckley, who is our Director of Public Works, is here. And I see Daryl Green. You can't miss Daryl Green. Daryl Jones. Can't miss Daryl Jones, who is about 7'10", who is in charge of real estate for the international, for our airport. Would you give these public servants and all of the folks who have been working on this for quite some time a round of applause? Listen, this is a big day in the life of Denver. As I mentioned, a lot of folks have been working hard on this moment, not the least of which, of course, is Panasonic City Now efforts. They have been tremendous in being a partner with us since they moved to Denver. This EasyMile Driverless Shuttle is a chance for us to come together and really address one of the critical pillars of our mobility action plan that I released in 2017. Make no mistake about it, Denver wants to be a national leader in this space of smart city technology deployment. This space where we deploy technology to make our mobility options and our mobility process much easier is one of our highest priorities going forward, and one in which I believe we have a chance, quite frankly, to be a national leader and one of the first to deploy these type of technologies for our mobility efforts. I want you to remember this day. This day is where we are using technology to change our lives and to change our mobility opportunities. Technology is changing and advancing so quickly that everyone is getting up. Cities all over the country, all over the world are getting up on these opportunities to make ourselves smarter, better, and faster, but also to address the issues of safety and access and equity. And that's what this driverless shuttle will do for everyone who's going to be traversing our streets, connecting the airport, connecting our transit stops, and connecting our businesses and connecting our residences. It also provides additional connectivity between, or at least address the key issue of first last mile for us, which is, I got to tell you, the #1 challenge for cities and towns, wherever you are, as we try to address the issue of mobility for our residents. And finally, we get a chance to test right here in Denver, Colorado, this AV technology and how ultimately it's going to impact all of our lives, not only out here at the Peña Station in Denver International Airport, but ultimately it's going to impact our lives all over the city of Denver, the region, and the state of Colorado. And Denver, again, will be one of the first here in Colorado, if not the first, to deploy this technology right here, tested right here at Peña Station with Panasonic. Let's give Panasonic a round of applause. So we want to thank the state legislators and leaders who helped make this possible, RTD and Dave Genova, and of course Mr. Tisdale, who serves as the board of directors. They're going to announce the directors who are here for RTD. Your partnership matters to us, along with the state. And again, I got to celebrate Public Works because we're testing something that we've never seen before. And if you've ever been around engineers, as I have been, I love how their eyes roll when we say we're going to take you outside your box and we're going to try something that's not quite comfortable, but something new. Chrissy Fingernail is laughing because I've said it to her before. Come along. We're going to try something new. We're going to be okay. But thank you to Public Works for your tremendous leadership in making this happen. This is an important day in the life of Denver. With that, I'm going to bring up Doug Tisdale, who is the chairman of the board of directors for RTD.
Good afternoon. Oh, we have to try that again. Good afternoon. Thank you. This is a very special time today, and I am absolutely delighted to be here. As the mayor said, yes, I'm Doug Tisdale, and I am the chairman of the board of the RTD. I'm pleased to represent RTD today as we inaugurate what is truly an unprecedented project. And you can broadcast that by using hashtag AVMobility. So for all of you who are tweeting and posting, get out hashtag AVMobility. I am just one representative of the RTD board. I'm merely the first among equals. I want to acknowledge now the other RTD directors who are here. We have our Vice Chair, Peggy Catlin, our second Vice Chair, Angie Malpiedi. We have our Treasurer, Shelley Cook. We have Director Claudia Folska, Director Kate Williams, Director Ken Mahalik, Director Vince Buzek, and Director Troy Whitmore. Please give it up for the RTD board. And we have some former directors too, and I appreciate their being here. Larry Hoy and Bill Elfenbein and Bill James. It's very nice of you guys to be here. Let me begin by acknowledging our great partners in this achievement. None of this is done by one person. It is a team effort. The 61 AV project was made possible through collaboration with both public and private stakeholders, including Colorado's Autonomous Vehicle Task Force. Now, that task force consists of representatives of the Colorado Department of Transportation, the Colorado State Patrol, the Colorado Department of Revenue's Division of Motor Vehicles, the City and County of Denver's Public Works Department, Denver International Airport, EasyMile, the manufacturer of this amazing automated vehicle, Panasonic, and of course, LC Fullenwider Inc., the developer of Peña Station Next. Now, for some of these organizations, this collaboration, this 61 AV project, is just the most recent of many collaborations with RTD. And for others, it's the very first. We expect our collaboration on 61 AV to be as successful as our past collaborations. Collaborations like our regional partnership to pass fast tracks and our many partnerships with CDOT, including T-Rex and other projects. You know, who knew that vehicles would drive themselves in our lifetime? Even George Jetson, his flying car from the 1960s cartoon series, The Jetsons, it required George to be at the wheel. Not anymore. The 61 AV project will demonstrate how we might be able to use autonomous vehicles to enhance mobility in the region. We'll see how autonomous vehicles might increase connectivity between stations, businesses, and residential areas, and how they might provide solutions to riders for whom the first and last mile, well, that might be a deciding factor to their using public transportation. Because this project is one of the first of its kind, the data and insights that we gain, unique in the world, they will make RTD a national and even a global leader in understanding what autonomous public transit might look like. So I thank you for your attention, and now it's my distinct privilege to introduce to you the General Manager and CEO of RTD, the man who makes it all happen. Please give it up for Dave Genova.
Thank you, Chair Tisdale. Always a pleasure to be introduced by Chair Tisdale. So if you have the opportunity, take advantage of it. It's fantastic. So on behalf of all of the hardworking RTD team of employees, I'm so excited for such a momentous occasion today. And I'd like to recognize that dedicated team of RTD employees. And we have a bunch here, so I know you're already standing, so if you could just kind of raise your hand, RTD team, and we'd like to recognize you. Thanks so much for everything you do to deliver our services every day, and especially on a day like yesterday. Wow, what a rough morning, but you know, I think about all of our operators and our first line supervisors that were out there and making an already hard job that much more challenging. So what a great job they do. And I'm happy to see so many of our RTD Board of Directors here. So thank you for being here and supporting us. And of course, a big thank you to all of our partners, Fullenwider, Panasonic, TransDev, EasyMile, City and County of Denver, and Peña Station Next, and the many that Chair Tisdale mentioned. You know, RTD is celebrating our 50 years of service this year, and what a remarkable way to kick off this golden anniversary than with the 61 AV pilot project. In this 50th year, we are rolling out RTD's new look and brand mark, which you'll see on one side of the AV vehicle, the 61 AV vehicle. And when we first came together with our partners, we established a few objectives for this particular pilot. The first one was around safety. We want to be able to safely introduce AV technology on a public roadway in the Denver metro area. We want to be able to provide additional connectivity to our train station, businesses, and residential areas, explore first and last mile solutions that work well, and then also to test this autonomous vehicle technology in our transit setting and in the operating environment that we have in the Denver metro region. It's quite amazing that RTD and our partners are marking the first time that a driverless shuttle is being introduced on a public roadway in Colorado. And this is yet another way in which RTD is leading the regional mobility strategy. And yet another way that our regional collaboration that we have and foster and work on here in our region is a model for the entire nation. And RTD is a leader in our nation. You know, we started in 1969 operating buses. Then we brought light rail. Then it was the approval of fast tracks. And then the first commuter rail system connecting downtown to Den and beyond, to having the largest fleet of electric buses in the nation, and now this, autonomous vehicles. RTD is certainly leading the transportation transformation. And we know that it's important to remain an innovator and to stay at pace with the needs of our customers, especially as rapidly changing as they are today. And we truly are the regional mobility integrator at the heart of an intermodal ecosystem. This pilot program will give us the means to test this technology for sustainability, accessibility, and the ability to perform in this environment. We know that this area will continue to grow, and today we see this as a perfect chance to safely test the reliability of the driverless shuttles. We're excited to be a partner in something that we think will benefit everyone throughout our region. And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you the Senior Vice President of EasyMile, Sharad Agarwal.
Thanks, Dave. As Dave mentioned, 61AV will be the first public transit route in the US operating an autonomous vehicle. And it's truly an honor for us to launch this service right here, literally in our backyard. And we thank RTD for being pioneers in bringing the future forward. EasyMile is a global leader in commercial autonomous vehicles. The first vehicle to showcase our technology, the EZ10, is fully electric and provides comfortable room for up to 12 passengers. With over 100 vehicles now in operation in various settings around the globe, we have really brought autonomous technology to a viable reality. The EZ10 has now operated over 200,000 miles and transported 350,000 people with 0 accidents. Our successful record is based on a redundancy in our safety systems and a detailed site analysis on every route to ensure a smooth operation. We've gained the trust of numerous transportation partners and regulatory authorities due to this conscious approach to safety and high performance. And this was again true here in Colorado, where we worked in collaboration with our diverse group of partners and government entities to meet the high standards of our state. We chose Denver for our North American headquarters because the city provides a great pool of talent, an ideal operating environment, and supported regulations towards autonomous vehicles. We are committed to making 61AV the first of many projects in Colorado, and for our state to lead the nation in autonomous technology. Before I introduce our next guest, I just want to make sure I thank our team here at EasyMile, that everybody here that you see in their white polos. Please get a chance to thank them. You'll see Abe, Joe, Baptiste, Lauren, Dionisi, Christian, and Eve and Kristen couldn't be here today. So if you get a chance, please thank them for all their hard work to making sure this project got off the ground. So now my pleasure, I get to introduce Cal Fulmenwider, the master developer for Peña Station Next.
Good afternoon. I'm Cal Fulmenwider. My family and company is the master developer of Peña Station Next and Peña Station North, all the way up to 72nd Avenue, which is about a mile plus from here. Our master plan did not intend to get so lucky to run into Panasonic, but I will tell you that we spent 2 years putting together probably one of the best greenfield TODs in the country. And I need to acknowledge Mayor Hancock, because he is the one who introduced us to Panasonic, which changed our world completely. And we had no idea what was in store for us. And Jim Doyle is here too, and I'd like to recognize him as well. one of the elements that we always intended to have in our master plan was a community shuttle running from 64th, 60th, all the way up to 72nd, and then out to the airport. Once the rail stop got put in place, that changed to take it down to the rail stop. We never had any idea that we would be talking about an automated shuttle that will run through the entire development and deposit everybody at 61st and Peña. And I can tell you the Flight Safety International just up the street has the largest flight training center in the country. They're training about 500 people a day, and they are biting at the bit to get on your shuttle. So we are proud to be working with everybody, and very proud to see the rollout of this shuttle. It's going to do nothing but get better. And now I'd like to, and I promised to keep it short, now I'd like to introduce Dick Alexander, Executive Vice President of TransDev North America, who will provide staffing and operations for our shuttle service.
We're great. It's happy to be here. This is a really great event for us. We're a company that partners with cities, partners with transit authorities to help move people. That's what we do as a company. We move people. I want to first start by thanking my team that's here. Andy Chatham, if you'd raise your hand. Doug, who's the head of our local operation here. We have a large TransDev team that's helping make this possible. Many of you may not know who TransDev is. We kind of operate below the radar to some degree. But we're, as I said before, about moving people. So we operate fixed route transit services and paratransit services. For example, here in RTD, one of our clients, one of our great clients. We also operate all different kinds of modes of transportation. It could be ferries, it can be taxis, it can be shuttle services. And now we're adding to that list AV driverless shuttles. And this is a momentous milestone for us, because what we see in mobility in cities and urban areas is, as was talked about earlier, how do you solve the last mile solution? How do you move people around in tight places in urban areas? How do you do that in an environmentally friendly way using modes of power that help preserve the environment that we live in? The EasyMile shuttle, we think, vehicle is a great example of that. And we're really excited about this project here. And quite frankly, we think this is the first step of what we see as a truly revolutionary time, probably not since the invention of the combustion engine, where we see a change in mobility to the magnitude that we're about to see here. This project represents the first step, small step, but as you see and read about all the investment, the dollars that are being invested in autonomy, and whether it be through Waymo, Uber, all the various different forms out there, we know that this is just the beginning of the curve. So with that, I'd like to thank you. Look forward to the project.
All right. I'm moving it up, guys. All right, so a couple points as we're kind of getting ready for the actual shuttle itself. I'd like to first of all say, I get it. We've all been in these rooms before, and to hear about the congratulatory moments from teams that have worked hard isn't exactly the show that you've been looking for. So I just want to acknowledge a couple things. First and foremost, the city and the county and the region that we and the state that we all fortunately live in, this is abnormal. I think we can all recognize that this level of stakeholder alignment, coming together to solve some pain points that are really, really tough, to be able to enable a company like Panasonic to move here, and for us to be a part of helping move EasyMile here, it's easy to wash over these things. But the reason why, I guarantee you, the reason why we're here and the reason why EasyMile is here is because of this collective group of stakeholders in this room. On a Tuesday, on a cold Tuesday, for us all to be here to support each other is amazing. So I know we've done a lot of congratulatory moments here, but I just want to say once again, this list of stakeholders coming together and all of us in the room, this is fairly unique, and I think we should probably feel proud of the state and the city that we reside in. That's number one. Second, from a Panasonic perspective, it's a little bit embarrassing to the degree that really we're just part of this ecosystem, and really it is about the technology that's advancing today with EasyMile and the hard work that they've put together. It's more than just the shuttle. It's more than just the toaster oven that you see on the street. Really, it's the software platform behind that and the man hours behind what makes that as robust of a solution as it is. And for us to be able to reap the rewards of solving and addressing some of these pain points from a first last mile perspective is really because of your technology. So I want to once again shout out to EasyMile. Thank you.